Imagine a farm so massive that it could completely reshape the global chocolate industry. Sounds like a made-up story, but it's real, and it's happening right here in Brazil. In the western region of Bahia, a project is being built that people are already calling the largest cocoa farm on the planet. But who is the person behind this gigantic idea? And how is he managing to pull off something on this scale? It's surreal. Everyone loves chocolate, whether it's in bars, desserts, cookies, drinks, or candies. It's a product that crossed generations and became part of cultures all around the world. But most people don't realize that behind this favorite treat there's a serious concern. Cocoa, the base of all chocolate, is getting harder and harder to produce. For decades, African countries like Ghana and Ivory Coast carried almost the entire global demand. But those plantations are getting older and dealing with pests, fungi, and the effects of climate change. The result: production dropped and prices went through the roof. Just to give you an idea, in 2024 the price of cocoa almost hit $13,000 per ton, the highest value ever recorded. After that it even fell a bit, but stayed extremely high, around $8,000, more than double the average of previous years. Experts are already warning that if nothing changes, the chocolate industry will have to reinvent itself. Companies may start using less cocoa and more replacements, meaning that the chocolate we know could turn into something expensive and rare. And that's exactly where the name Moises Schmidt enters, a Brazilian producer who decided to look beyond the usual soybean and cotton fields. He saw cocoa not only as a good opportunity, but as a chance to make history. Through Schmidt Agricola, his family's company that already has more than 35,000 hectares of productive land, he began testing cocoa cultivation back in 2019 in western Bahia. The results were so strong that Moises decided to go even bigger. Now the idea is bold: create the largest cocoa farm in the world and push Brazil to the top of this market. The goal? Reach 500,000 hectares planted in the next 10 years, an area bigger than the entire farming zone of many Brazilian states. If everything works out, this farm could produce more than 1.6 million tons of cocoa per year, a number that has never been seen before. To make it happen, the investment is expected to pass $300 million, a level that shows how serious Brazil is about claiming the global chocolate throne. And the most interesting part is that the secret of the project isn't just the size, but the technology and the modern way of growing cocoa that promise to change the industry. What makes this farm even more impressive is the method used to cultivate the trees. Unlike the traditional system, where cocoa grows under the shade of other species in more closed forest areas, here the planting is in full sun, and that changes everything. The entire model is built around technology and efficiency, designed to squeeze the maximum productivity out of every hectare. There are 1,600 trees per hectare, all planted with strategy, planned spacing, and constant technical monitoring. Nothing is left to chance. Every row of plants is irrigated with micro-sprinkler systems that deliver just the right amount of water. The soil is tested frequently, and fertilization is done with precision, based on the real needs of the crop. The plantation is monitored digitally, using sensors and software that track everything from moisture levels to early signs of pests. It's cocoa stepping fully into the era of agriculture 4.0. This model turned a crop that for years was treated as rustic and artisanal into a true high-performance commodity, handled with the same efficiency standards seen in large soybean, corn, and cotton farms. One of the biggest secrets behind the whole structure is the company's own nursery. It works like the heart of the project. Right now, it can already produce over 3.5 million seedlings per year, and the goal is to reach 10 million by 2027. But it's not just about numbers. It's about excellence. Each seedling comes from selected genetic material, chosen to resist diseases and pests and deliver high productivity. The process is so controlled it looks like an agricultural assembly line, where every step has a defined purpose. And the results are already starting to show. While the traditional system averages around 200 arrobas of cocoa beans per hectare, the Schmidt method can double that, reaching about 400 arrobas, meaning around 6 tons per hectare. It's a level of productivity that completely changes the logic of cocoa farming. But to make all of this viable, there's one factor that makes a huge difference: water. Western Bahia has fertile soil and a climate that helps the crop develop, but the rainfall in the region is irregular. Because of that, the group invested heavily in modern irrigation systems with automatic control and sensors that measure what each plant needs in real time. No waste. Every drop is used with surgical precision. And the technology doesn't stop there. The same level of attention is applied to fertilization, which is done in a controlled way based on constant soil analysis. Drones, satellites, and farm management software help detect areas that need correction, fix gaps, and predict possible issues before they turn into losses. Even with all that innovation, there's still a huge challenge ahead: harvesting. Until today, cocoa is still picked by hand, fruit by fruit, with the worker opening the pods with a machete and separating the beans one by one. It's a beautiful scene to watch, but extremely slow and tiring. Now imagine doing that in a farm with thousands and thousands of hectares. Keeping up with that scale is impossible. That's why Skimmed Agricola is already studying ways to mechanize or semi-mechanize the harvest, something that until recently seemed unthinkable in the cocoa world. It's a bold move, but a necessary one, because the future of this crop will depend on the ability to combine tradition with technology. If everything works out, this shift could open the door to a completely new era for cocoa, one that's far more productive, efficient, and modern, with Brazil once again taking the lead in this kind of transformation. We're talking about a change that doesn't just boost numbers, but redefines how the entire supply chain works, from the seed to the final product on the shelf. And let's be honest, it's not every day that a traditional crop manages to reinvent itself on this scale, with technology, planning, and investment all moving together in the same direction. What's happening in Western Bahia could become an example for the whole world, showing that with technology, boldness, and vision, Brazilian agriculture can influence even the chocolate that ends up on the tables of billions of people. And there's another side to a project this big: environmental and social concerns. Growth has to respect native areas, use resources responsibly, and keep a good relationship with local communities. The group says it's investing in sustainable practices like planting cover crops, preserving legal reserve areas, and even using agroforestry systems to keep balance with nature. Still, it's a challenge to prove all of that in real life. Even with the obstacles, the mood is optimistic. Brazil, which was a cocoa powerhouse decades ago, may be on the edge of a new chapter. Bahia was once the symbol of this crop, but it suffered heavily with the witch's broom disease that wiped out entire plantations. Now, with technology, investment, and long-term planning, the country is dreaming big again, and maybe, finally, ready to reclaim its place at the top of the chocolate world. And if you stayed with me until now, it's because you liked the story, so give that support. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments what you thought about this impressive farm. And hey, if you enjoyed learning about the biggest cocoa farm on Earth, you're going to love the video that's on your screen right now: largest mango farm in Brazil. It's a must-watch. Tap it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.